Hello everyone, Tom Cartwright here from Cartwright Coaching. Quick message to you, but one of the most fundamental, profound messages you are ever going to hear in your life. And I know this because after working with hundreds of clients time and time again, whenever I share this message and we unpack this human behavioral model of looking at where our problems originated from, their worlds are blown and change is created instantaneously. Now the reason why I want to share it with you, and I'm so passionate, I'm talking really fast, is because I've not shared this on Facebook, I've not shared it on social media, and usually, to be honest, I'm only sharing this with my one-on-one paying clients who are paying thousands of dollars to work with me to uncover this level of in-depth internal work they can do. So if you are struggling with any addiction, you're over drinking, you're overeating, any addiction at all, any kind of problem in your life around being addicted to something, it's going to come back to this one thing. Now, I'm going to share with you some stuff that's quite in-depth, and if you're not ready to hear it yet, then I totally appreciate and understand that. But for those of you who are ready to learn something new and to maybe dive into something, then stick with us here. Now, the thing is, I must let you know, I would never share anything to cause you intentional harm or to damage your ego in any way. But I've realized I can't hold back the good stuff from people, and not everyone's able to work with me, and I have to share the most advanced coaching methodology and framework to create change for someone, and I want to give it to you today for absolute free. Thanks so much for being here. So when it comes to addiction, so many of you are wanting to know, where does it come from? I've tried all of this therapy, I've tried all of this help, I've worked with coaches, I've done these strategies, I don't drink anymore and I try not to go to parties and I drink water, and I've done all this stuff, yet there's still something in me that wants to do that addiction. Now, what is it? I'll share with you right now what it is. Each and every problem around addiction originates from one area, and that one area is called toxic shame. Now, what's the difference between toxic shame and shame? Okay, everybody's experienced shame before on some level. Now, shame is, I've done something wrong. I'll say that again. Shame is, I've done something wrong. Toxic shame is where you take that shame to another level, you do something wrong a few times, and you no longer believe you did something wrong, you believe, I am wrong. Now, the day you believe or take on the thought that I am wrong is the day you suppress parts of you. It's the day you suppress the parts of you that's required for you to live a full, authentic life. Now, where does this happen? Why does this happen? Now, for every client I've ever worked with, including myself, toxic shame comes from a very young age. You see, how this process works is we are all born, and when we are born with beautiful characteristic traits that we all have within inside us. They are characteristic traits of vulnerability, curiosity, an insatiable hunger to learn and challenge and stretch, the hunger to grow. We are born with this amazing, beautiful thing called resilience. And every time a baby grows up and it begins to walk, it falls over time and time and time again. But every single time it gets back up until it starts walking. This is resilience. Now, where do we unlearn these things? Where do we unlearn the characteristic traits of hunger, insatiable hunger to learn, to be vulnerable, to be curious, to challenge a status quo, to not listen to authority figures and rebel and go against? Why do we suppress these things? I'll tell you right now why we suppress these things. See, what happens is when a child is born, we believe when we are born that the big people in our life, which are the people that are looking after us, whether that's parents, family, older siblings, an orphanage, an educational system we're put in, whatever it might be, we believe when we're very young that they are the big people. They are the gods of our world. And all we want to know is that our gods are okay and that we are okay. And all we want in the world is to see wonderful reflected back to us. We want unconditional love, and that's all we want to see in the world. Now, here's the thing. We often hear so often that there's an addiction epidemic, or there's an anxiety or depression epidemic. But here's the thing. I truly believe that that's not true. I believe there's a low self-esteem and low self-worth epidemic. I believe that's what's truly going on in the world. So all of these surface level problems around addiction, depression, anxiety are caused from low self-worth. Now let's get back to how this works. When we are born, we just want to know that the world's a safe place. Yet here's the thing, the people that are raising us are doing the best they can with the resources and tools they currently have. And it's not always intentionally their fault, but it doesn't matter if it is. But what happens in the world when we're growing up is we experience dysfunction of some kind. We experience drama or dysfunctional problems in our world, especially in our family environment. Now, you could go to one extreme and experience this dysfunction and drama through physical or emotional abuse that's passed on to a child. which is very sad. It's very unfortunate to hear. And we can go to the other end of the scale where a child doesn't really experience, let's say, physical or emotional abuse, but maybe they're in a world where someone or the big people are struggling with their own problems, whether it's financial, whether it's health, whether it's mental health, whether it's addiction. And we can go even further down the scale and say maybe they're in what looks like materialistically and externally a very successful and fundamental family or tribe. Yet maybe that child is sent off to experience a night with a babysitter and they feel uncomfortable. Okay, and it's too much for them, but they're sent off with that person anyway. Now, what that child is doing is experiencing drama. And although the drama is happening outside of him, although the drama might be happening with the big people or with the family, because we believe as a child that the big people are our gods, a child will internalize any external event. And when a child internalizes an external event, he says it's no longer their problem, it's my problem. It couldn't be them, it must be me. Because a beautiful young child is an amazing, amazing, beautiful, beautiful person. And they're so open and vulnerable, and they think that the big people are the gods in the world. Well, how could they be wrong? They're the creators of me. They must know everything. So once again, the child will internalize any external event. So any drama whatsoever, from such a small moment to quite a severe emotional or physical abuse moment, it doesn't matter right now. What matters is that a child will internalize that. And when a child internalizes that moment, the child experiences shame. The child thinks, I am wrong. Sorry, the child will experience shame, which is, I've done something wrong. As I said, it could be from physical and emotional abuse. The child will internalize that and say, I've done something wrong. Or the child could be crying in a supermarket, in a shopping center, and a parent say, stop crying. Now, what we're doing right there is telling a child to suppress their needs, their emotions, to cry or to feel empathy or vulnerability or whatever it is that's going on for them. So they'll internalize that and also say, I've done something wrong. Now, it happens one or two more times and the child will eventually experience toxic shame, and they no longer believe that they've done something wrong. They will start to believe that they are wrong. And the minute they feel toxic shame that they are wrong, they will suppress the parts of them that were apparently not accepted in the world right then and there. The day we suppress a part of ourselves is the day we subconsciously set ourselves up for failure in life. Because apparently we can't be all of us anymore. There's only a certain piece of the puzzle to us that we can be, that will be loved and accepted in the world. Now, this isn't passing the blame to our family or tribe or anyone that raised us. Everybody's doing the best they can with what they currently have. This is about ultimately knowing how vulnerable and also at the same time how strong a beautiful, very young child is. And in order to save his family and to feel like he fits in and belongs and experiences unconditional love, he's raised in a way that he can only experience a certain part of him. Now, there's different roles we take on in each family. And a role has two reasons. A role is a certain bunch of characteristic traits that we are going to do and a way in which we are going to behave and experience the world through. Now, we'll make sense of this together. What are different roles? There's a role of what's called the hero. This is the role of the perfectionist that's going to almost save the family. They'll probably get straight A's and be great at sports if they want to try at sports. They're going to be the hero. They're going to be academically, they're going to be externally successful. They also believe that they need to get things right. There's the other role of the victim. The victim is always complaining. The world's out to get them. It's not their fault. Everything's out to get them. There's the role of the scapegoat. This is the role of the member in the family who is almost like the black sheep of the family. The scapegoat is the person who plays the role of, look how fucked up my problems are. There's the role of the designated patient. This is the role, the member in the family who's constantly ill and out of control. Now, these are only just a few roles that we play, but deriving from family therapy and the approach that they take in family therapy, they state there's about 6 or 7 generalistic roles that we kind of stick to. And it all happens because when we were 1, 2, or 3 years old, we felt toxic shame. And we thought, well, as long as we play this role, we'll fit in. Now, here's the thing. You made that decision when you're really, really fucking young. You had no idea what else to do. It's a beautiful decision you made for yourself to not only help you not feel more shame, but to help your family survive. Because you thought as long as you played your role, your family could maintain its dysfunction in some way, shape, or form. And that's a fucking beautiful thing that you've done for yourself and your family. Now, here's the thing. Each and every one of those roles will end up leading to some kind of addiction. Because whether you're addicted to a substance like alcohol or cocaine, or whether you're addicted to a behavior such as getting it right, not fucking up, you still have an addiction. And the addiction there is because that addiction enables you to constantly play that role. And apparently there's only one role you are not allowed to play. And the role that apparently you are not allowed to play is all of you. The complete, happy, vulnerable, successful, resilient, beautiful, amazing, unique, ultimate version of yourself that apparently you can't play because the last time you played that, you felt shame. Are you hearing me? The last time you played that, you felt shame. Now, I know we're moving along quite quickly, but I really have to get this message to you. And if you want to know more about it, you can do that. You can look into it. You can ask me. And I have to get this message to you, because I think it's a waste when someone has to finally get the right support after agonizing pain and finding out what's truly holding them back. And I'd love to save you hours and hours and hours of coaching or therapy in some kind of way, looking into the core crux of why you are being someone you do not want to be. And it's not about finding all of the shit that you forgot. It's about letting go of the stuff that no longer serves you. It's about letting go of the role that served you as a child and a young adult that is no longer serving you now. Because you've probably been trying to make decisions for yourself to move forward. You've probably been trying to give up your addictions, but you're not aware that subconsciously you'll keep moving to other addictions, because the only role you're not allowed to play is the role of all of you. The only role you are not allowed to play, apparently, is the whole, total, complete, vulnerable, curious, amazing, childlike being you are. Because the last time you did that, you were 1 or 2 years old and you felt toxic shame. And you never want to feel that again. And it's really unfortunate, and I've been there myself for years, that whilst trying not to feel it anymore, you're feeling shame over and over and over again because you're running behaviors that are causing you pain and drama in your life. And you're waking up or going to sleep at night thinking, fuck, I fucked up again. Or, why is my life like this? And I hear you and I see you. And I have so much compassion for you because I did it for fucking years. I personally played the role of victim and scapegoat so fucking well. I believed and acted like I did not care about school and academics, but I only did that because I believed I was not good enough. And you've got to appreciate that your beliefs determine your reality, not the other way around. So if you make decisions and beliefs that you can't be all of you, if you make decisions and beliefs that you are not academically inclined, or you're not sporting inclined, or you can't be someone or a better version of yourself, if you make those decisions when you are young, you will create a reality that determines those and creates a reality around those beliefs. You do not experience reality as it is. You experience reality as you are. And if reality in your life is not the way you want it to be, it's because of what's going on internally. There's nothing out there you need to change. There's only in here that we need to change and grow. And the way we change and grow is by learning to let go. And if we can learn to let go of the role we think we need to play in life, we will be one step closer to the ultimate version of ourselves. And when I say one step, I don't mean we've just made a decision. I don't mean we've done one day without doing our addictions. I mean we are ultimately and fundamentally a massive and huge, profoundly step forward into living your desired life, to being everything you know you are possible of being. You see, each and every day when I'm working with clients, I'm constantly seeing, and as I walk out there down the street, I'm constantly seeing people play different roles. They are being someone that has a combination of a certain belief system and behavior patterns that determine a similar outcome in life. Because we all have what's called a safe problem or a bunch of safe problems. For me and the clients I'm working with, it's specifically substance addiction. Substance addiction comes from generally very similar roles. I've worked with clients after clients after clients, and the number of clients who tell me they've done years of therapy, weeks in rehabilitation clinics, and not even scratch the surface of what I've shared with you right now. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I thought that was my duty to keep it to myself only for my one-on-one clients. No, fuck that. How are we not exposed to this level of information in this day and age in the 21st century? How do we not know this? How do we not know that we're only being a part of ourselves? We feel frustration and pain. We're in financial debt. We have dysfunctional relationships in our lives. Our health and fitness isn't where we want it to be. We're getting medicated for anxiety or experience anxiety and panic attacks. We have fears and phobias. Why is all of this happening? Yet you need to go down a line of therapy and a line of trying to find the right information when it's right here. I truly believe there's no deeper level of transformation you can do than what's called resigning from the role you believe you have to play. The day I resigned from scapegoat victim was the day that I truly excelled in life. Was the day that I solved my problems around addiction. Was the day that my business started blossoming. Was the day that my relationships bloomed and a marriage occurred. The day that you resign from your role internally is the day the world will be as you want it to be externally. And no one out there is going to change. No family, no friends, no jobs, no bosses, no financial situation needs to change. You'll change. Remember to get back up every time you fall. Dive deep internally to what matters most and create the change you've been looking for. The information and the education that you need is accessible at the click of a button.